Tecsys point-of-use application uses a combination of automation and process improvement to take complexities out of the operating room supply chain. It dramatically improves the performance of and collaboration between supply chain and clinical operations, and is all about generating end-to-end visibility and control in the OR, because you can't manage what you can't see. One of the reasons the OR supply chain is so complex is the many types of products it uses. Ranging from general supplies to bone and tissue tracking, each type of inventory carries different traceability requirements and must undergo a distinct conditioning process. The point-of-use solution centralizes the management of all these different types of inventory in the OR and guides users through the receiving process, which is integrated with an ERP system. If a lot needs to be broken down and serialized, for example, the system prints out serialized barcodes linked to the lot number as part of the conditioning process, or an RFID tag is printed and affixed to the items so they can be tracked in a smart cabinet and consumed in a smart bin, completing the fully automated process. Once items are conditioned, a handheld device guides users through the put-away process and confirms deliveries to each unique location. The system provides clinical staff with accurate visibility on all types of inventory in all locations and ensures they are ready for clinical use. However, case cart management that gets the right supplies in the procedure room tends to be a big challenge in the OR because some data points are missing and others are difficult to connect. The traditional methodology involves a pick list based on a preference card being printed and items picked for a single case in a random sequence with no verification of what was actually picked, no real-time inventory management on the shelves, and no visibility on inventory transferred to a cart. And often, those preference cards are outdated because cleaning them up is a long and manual process. As a result, case carts reach the operating room with the wrong supplies. Missing items cause clinical teams to call in rush orders during procedures. Unused items that need to be returned carry risk of contamination and compromised packaging. Meanwhile, because the picking process is manual, there's no way to track what is actually on the carts. So the OR team is unable to spot issues and take preventive action. This lack of visibility, together with inaccurate par counts, make it difficult to discern actual demand. Without statistics on picks, return, and case consumption, it is difficult to buy strategically, manage preference cards effectively, or sustain performance over time. Instead, Tecsys connects data points throughout its process to provide perpetual inventory management and to manage preference cards on a continuous basis. Demand planning and resource allocation are performed for every case, generating true demand-driven inventory requirements. The process begins with a preference card pick list assigned to a specific EMR case that is opened on a handheld device, providing a paperless picking process. The picking route is dynamically optimized to cut the time it takes to build case cards. Picking verifications on handheld devices prevent picking mistakes and validate what inventory is being transferred or allocated to a case. This drives accurate case cart content during procedures, which increases throughput. By seeing what is picked, consumed, and returned, it becomes possible to identify what supplies are unnecessary. This data lets you optimize preference cards and ultimately pick more precisely what is needed and have fewer returns as a result. Nevertheless, the application simplifies the return process and transfers items back into inventory. This unbroken visibility, together with up-to-date preference cards, means better demand planning based on the OR schedule, which turns into opportunities to bulk buy strategically and determine appropriate inventory levels. Managing specialty items like medical devices and implants without the right visibility can be challenging as well. These items are typically a mix of owned, consigned, and bill only. Owned inventory suffers under the margin of error of manual par counting and unreliable inventory and expiration visibility. Consigned vendor-managed inventory has even less visibility, making it challenging to understand what is actually on the shelves versus what needs to be on the shelves to match planned procedures. Bill-only consignment items, also known as trunk stock, are usually brought in at the last minute, typically without a PO and sometimes not even in the item master. The lack of visibility in a VMI program, together with inaccurate consumption capture, makes it difficult to reconcile consumption to the case and across vendors. Focusing on visibility and control through a VMI portal gives both the vendor and the OR better visibility into the inventory on hand and what inventory is on its way. Bill-only items can even arrive preconditioned to ensure accurate traceability and easier reconciliation. This provides one consolidated overview across owned, consigned, and bill-only items in a single system for better planning and easier initiation of preventive actions early on. And because serial numbers, lot numbers, and expiration dates are tracked and confirmed by location, the expiration countdown is visible in the system, preventing stock wastage and ensuring effective recall management. In short, it's global inventory visibility on all specialty items, making it easier to plan for the inventory needed for scheduled procedures and to reconcile with vendors while controlling excess inventory, stock wastage, and using recalled items. The traditional methodology for case consumption and supplies documentation tends to carry a high risk of error because of all the manual inputs into multiple systems and paper flows with limited traceability for items like instrument trays and tissue implants. Typically, there are also few, if any, safeguards against using expired or recalled items. Automating that process with barcode scanning that uses the manufacturer barcode and pushes to multiple applications with a single scan means connecting any gaps between the ERP and EMR, leading to fewer manual tasks and human error. If items are conditioned with RFID tags, the Smart Bin completely eliminates the need for scanning. This results in increased throughput and improved outcomes. When manual input is reduced at the front-end computer, input errors are avoided. Preventive actions can be taken to safeguard against using expired or recalled items, and to prevent supply shortages, thus reducing return volume and associated cross-contamination risks. The ongoing optimization of preference cards feeds accurate case cart contents that eliminate urgent supply runs and rush orders. And all that data provides accurate case costing and comparative effectiveness across service lines to minimize variations and better collaborate on physician preference items. Organizations who have adopted a data-driven methodology have seen impressive results, from a 71% drop in serious reportable events to a 12% reduction in OR turnover time and a $4.7 million savings by improving inventory utilization. Across the board, this approach helps drive improved outcomes at a lower cost. Tecsys Healthcare. Fulfillment at work.